Let's get into some Lakers news here by Chat Sports. Harrison Graham and Chase Sr. with you. LeBron James, we'll get to Anthony Davis in a moment, but could he be returning sooner rather than later, Chase? Let's explore this one.
Yeah, he's missed the past 10 games. He sprained his high right ankle a couple weeks ago against the Atlanta Hawks. Solomon Hill rolled up into him, and we know that LeBron James is a bionic man, so he can come back from any injury. Now, Frank Vogel did say that there's no update on a timeline as to when LeBron James is going to come back. But it's kind of an interesting scenario. Like, is he going to be able to come back before Anthony Davis, who we were talking before the show? He's missed the last 2 months due to that
14th.
calf strain. I think if you're the Lakers, this is what you have to focus on. Don't focus on where you are in the Western Conference standings. Focus on getting LeBron and AD back healthy, because when this team is at full strength, they're capable of winning a second straight NBA championship. There's no doubt.
Now, LeBron went LeBron on us and,
Yes.
posted something cryptic, as he has from time to time throughout his social media NBA career here. Do you have the exact reading there, the IG post?
I do. I thought Lakers fans were going to eat this up as soon as he said it. Obviously, it's LeBron and AD sitting on the scorer's table, cheering on their teammates. LeBron said, "The weatherman says the weather is changing soon, and it predicts a thunderstorm is coming. Folks prepare and take the proper caution measures to be safe." So
what does that mean?
I think
Who
that
knows?
means who knows, but LeBron and AD, they're focused on getting back, and when they do, they plan on making a lot of noise.
I'll tell you what that means is that don't sleep on this team just because they've slipped in the standings. Once LeBron's healthy, once AD is healthy, this team has the pieces in place to make a run at another championship this year. And it obviously all starts with LeBron James. We'll expand on AD in just a few moments. I've actually been fairly impressed that the Lakers have kind of been about a 500 squad since LeBron went out 10 games ago. I think they're 4-6 over their last 10, which is not bad considering this was a team that missed the playoffs LeBron's first year when he got hurt. So stay afloat, get LeBron back and healthy, and this is still the team to beat in the Western Conference.
I think so too. Look, you can talk about the Phoenix Suns, you can talk about the Utah Jazz and the Los Angeles Clippers. The Denver Nuggets are climbing up the Western Conference standings. I think in a 7-game series, nobody matches up with the Lakers when they are at full strength. So even if they drop down to the 6th seed, and can you imagine, Harrison, if we get a Clippers-Lakers first-round series, or if they go to 7 or 8, I still think they're in a good spot.
If you want LeBron to return sooner rather than later, go ahead and like this video for us. Help us out. Just hit that thumbs-up icon if you're ready for King James to return. And Chase was alluding to the Western Conference standings. The Lakers have slipped a little bit. Like, this is a competitive conference year in and year out, and that's true again this year. Look, if you're the Lakers, you're not catching the Jazz. You're probably not catching the Suns. Maybe you can get back up to the 3 or the 4 if AD or LeBron get back and healthy sooner rather than later. But to your point, the only thing the Lakers want to avoid is falling to 7 or below, because you don't want to get stuck in some who knows what could happen situation in that play-in situation in that 7-8 matchup, and then the loser of that has to win a game to secure a playoff spot. Stay in the top 6, get LeBron healthy, get AD healthy. Home court doesn't really matter this year anyway. I think the Lakers just need to focus on getting their 2 stars healthy, and that's why we will switch back to Anthony Davis. It does sound like Mark Stein hinted that the Lakers are hopeful, Chase, that after this current road trip, maybe Anthony Davis could make his return.
And it would be a huge boost to the lineup. What this would do, give LeBron James at 36 years old some more time to get healthy.
Yep.
And Anthony Davis hasn't played since mid-February. It's crazy how fast time has gone over the last couple of months and how the past year plus has kind of made us all lose the kind of feeling of time. But if he's able to come back and you have him and Andre Drummond in the front court, and then guys like Kentavious Caldwell-Pope continue to play well. He put up almost 30 points last night.
Yep.
If Kyle Kuzma continues to play the way that he's been playing.
Andre Drummond had a nice game.
Andre Drummond did play well last night. Montrezl Harrell has been really good since Anthony Davis has gone out. You're looking at a team, including Ben McLemore, who also played last night, that with Anthony Davis, a little bit better, a little bit deeper.
And the note there was that maybe he could return after the road trip. Okay, April 15th. That's probably the first game he could make his return against the Celtics. Hopefully against the Jazz, at least. He could play in that game. That'd be a good measuring stick to see where the Lakers are at that point in time. But we know what AD brings to this team. We saw it last year in the playoffs. He came up big and was that, true number 2 sidekick to LeBron James that they brought him in for. That's why they traded for him. That's why they sent a bunch of young assets for Anthony Davis because he wanted to pair him with LeBron James and for that duo to be the reason why this team can chase championships once again.
This is what I'd like. This would be totally ideal if I'm Frank Vogel. AD, maybe you come back mid-April, right? Like you said. LeBron, take your time getting back healthy. But if you can give us like 10 games, 15 games at the end of the regular season to get the wheels in motion. You know, you throw some WD-40 on there a little bit, and this team is able to kind of get some momentum going and get a feel for one another with some of the new parts like Drummond, like McLemore. That would be totally ideal if I'm Frank Vogel.
So what do you guys think? Who returns first? Type LBJ for LeBron James, type AD for Anthony Davis. Seems like AD, but you can't ever count out the king. Go ahead and get your votes in. Hey, Lakers fans, we got a deal for you guys. We partnered up with the Newsbreak app, and if you're living in the LA area or anywhere, here's what I want you to do. Chatsports.com/LakersNB. Go to that link and download the Newsbreak app. This app is going to keep you up with local news, sports, politics, weather. You can do everything on this app. You're an old school guy, Chase. I could imagine you in your rocking chair reading the newspaper, but now you can do it all in the Newsbreak app.
That's totally right. And the cool feature with the Newsbreak app, you put in your zip code, right?
Yes.
So if you're living in Los Angeles or if you're living in Malibu, Orange County, Hermosa Beach,
anywhere.
Redondo Beach, anything that's happening in those neighborhoods, you can put your zip code in, and all of the news happenings will be filtered on one single page. There's really nothing better because it's not like you have to swipe out and go to all these different apps. You don't have to go to a bunch of different websites and go to a different tabs. It's all on one feed.
Yeah, and you're going to get all the top stories in your local communities. And, of course, you can search for other sports and news stuff as well. It's a great app. Lots of different publications being utilized there. Chatsports.com/LakersNB. Also, follow the Lakers report on Newsbreak. Some of our videos are now over there. Support the show, chatsports.com/LakersNB. If you search for Lakers Report, you will find videos from us here at Chat Sports. In ESPN's post-NCAA tournament mock draft, Jared Butler going to the Lakers at number 23, a player you and I have watched quite a bit, was under the spotlight in the NCAA tournament. Chase, I like this value a lot for the Lakers in the purple and gold, a two-way player who has unlimited range from the outside.
At some point, you have to start thinking about the post-LeBron era. He's 36 years old. In his 3 seasons in LA, he's already suffered 2 injuries that have kept him out of the lineup for an extended period of time. LeBron James, no doubt the bionic man, but start thinking ahead, and Jared Butler could be that type of guy. Now, a lot of younger people might be familiar with him, not just because he just won a natty at Baylor in the NCAA tournament. He also hopped on Pardon My Take with Barstool. That gave him some shine as well. But you look at the numbers that he put up this past year, this is a guy who's a bucket getter, and he was one of a bunch of exceptional athletes on that Baylor team. And hey, look at what he can do from beyond the arc. He's shooting nearly 42% from 3. That's a dynamic offensive player.
I'll give you a comp here. How about Malcolm Brogdon?
Love that.
He can play point.
Absolutely,
he can play the 2. He's a good defender. I like Jared Butler a lot. Coming into this year, he was the highest touted player on Baylor's team, and then Davion Mitchell just said, hey, I'm going to take that one over. But I like Jared Butler a lot. I think you put him on a team that's already in win-now mode like the Lakers. He can play 15, 17 minutes off the bench. As a rookie, you pair him with a guy like Talen Horton-Tucker. You got 2 pieces for the future, which is something you were talking about. I like this one quite a bit for the Los Angeles Lakers.
Yeah, and I think, look, maybe you move on from KCP eventually, right? He's very expensive. So then if you replace him with a guy like Jared Butler and you don't re-sign some of the players on the roster currently like Dennis Schroeder, this is a much cheaper option. Alex Caruso, another guy who's going to be a free agent after this year and could demand around $10 million. Hey, Jared Butler won't demand that much money, and I'd argue he can give you just as much ability as those guys.
Who is your favorite sleeper prospect for this year's draft? I want to hear it from you guys. I like Butler a lot. Here's the thing about the NBA draft. There's always guys that come out of nowhere because international prospects, small school prospects. We're going to get to one in just a little bit as well. Favorite sleeper prospect for this year's draft? Go ahead and comment right now.